Welcome to the Divalution, a show to empower, enlighten, and entertain divas and those that love us.
Yeah, me too. I only hear to my left.
That's weird. Okay. Hopefully we are coming to you live. Does somebody have the app up and loaded so that we can test? I checked everything yesterday. I just want to make sure everything's good today. So I have it right here. So, wow, you guys, we have moved, and it was not easy. We had a lot of help, luckily. And we're now, there we go. We're at 515 Adams Street between the one-ways, but for some reason, I am only hearing everything in one ear. Hopefully you're hearing everything in two. Are you hearing everything in one ear too?
Mine's only in one ear.
Isn't that weird?
If I hear mine in my right ear and you hear yours in your left ear, we're good.
I hear mine in my right ear.
My left ear.
Oh, there, wait.
That's really weird.
Wait.
There, now we're all right ears or left ears? Oh, I better change mine. Okay, we are left-eared tonight. Oh, that's so strange. It's got to be something with this thing. I'll figure it out later. So really, we could be mono-eared this evening. So, did you know that September was Self-Improvement Month?
Not until today.
How about you, Libby?
I did not until you texted me.
It was a big surprise to me as well. Why don't they make a bigger thing out of it?
It would be a big improvement.
It would be. The year should take it into consideration. The year needs self-improvement.
But you know what? There are so many things to celebrate every single month. There's like National Hot Dog Day, National Hot Dog Month.
Well, you know, did you know that there's Speak Like a Pirate Day?
Of course there is. See, we can make up a Divalution Day.
We can.
We could ask the city of Bay City to actually name a Divalution Day, a Diva Day.
And it should be in December because that's when we started.
Okay, we need a chalkboard. We need the brainstorm chalkboard right behind you where you can turn around and go COBC.
Here?
Diva Day.
Here?
Yeah.
Or here?
Anywhere.
Here?
Anywhere. Right there.
All right.
Okay.
Note to self. If I only had a chalkboard to write it down on.
We need a secretary. Which one of you ladies want to take notes? Minutes. We need somebody to do the minutes.
She's our secretary for the green tea.
Oh. For the green tea?
Our secretary for the Devolution Project isn't here this evening. So,
she hasn't been hired yet.
Donna.
Oh, yes.
Donna. So anyway, I thought it was really, it all happened so oddly. You know how things happen, Libby. So I'm thinking today would be a really good day to talk about people that haven't kept up their New Year's resolutions. That now you can still end strong because you still have September, October, November, December.
For the entire year.
Right. And you can still, really keep some of those, like quitting smoking. You could still do that before the end of the year.
Totally.
And then I looked at what to plan the show around, and it was Self-Improvement Day. Isn't that weird that happened like that?
That's perfect. I
know. I just love when things happen like that.
People get distracted. It's back to school, so everyone gets completely sidetracked by all that is back to school, and then you skip the entire month of September because of the parties that are summer, and then all of a sudden it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
That's October, right?
Right. So September is this very forgotten, distracted month. So, not anymore.
So, if the kids are back in school, we can also improve ourselves.
Yes.
Now we're free. Although
it's great timing too. You're talking about back to school. I mean, the holidays are right around the corner. I mean, we're already talking about Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it's a great time to be focusing on yourself and getting into good habits to carry with you into stressful times of the year.
That's right. In fact, that gives me an idea for a Thanksgiving show. You can take so much fat out of Thanksgiving just by not inviting Uncle Bill. I'm just kidding. That was not very nice. That wasn't very nice. I'm sorry, Uncle Bill.
Doesn't everyone have an Uncle Bill somewhere?
Really sorry.
I had an Uncle Bill.
But, that would be a really good thing to talk about for Thanksgiving. So, anyway, self-improvement. So, here is, I feel really short for some reason. Is it because I am?
Probably.
Beth, come back here.
Stretch out in the rack.
Thank you. So, self-improvement is defined as, the definition is that self-improvement is pretty self-explanatory. Self-improvement is the movement and the improvement of one's knowledge, status, or character by one's own efforts. It's the quest to make ourselves better in any and every facet of life.
I like that.
You can't argue with that.
I love looking at definitions of words.
Yes.
It always has a different meaning for me, or puts things in perspective.
So if you were to
growth.
add something to that, exactly, that's the word I would have added, growth. How about you? Would you have added anything to that definition?
I don't know. I think it would be self-improvement in all facets of your life, or which portion of your life, or I guess I'm talking from a mindfulness perspective too.
But that's
right?
okay.
And I'm thinking of mind, body.
And had they not included in any and every facet of life, I would have been offended, because it's not only physically
or financial,
it's also mentally, spiritually, there's family-wise, relationships. I mean, it could go on and on. So the fact that they recognize that and put every facet of life, I respected very much. So, but when people think of self-improvement, what do you think the first thing they think of is?
Physical appearance, aesthetic.
Right.
That's what I was going to say too. How they eat.
Right. Mm-hmm. And their
skills.
Exercise.
I do also think, when you go to the self-improvement aisle, like at
a
Barnes &
bookstore,
Noble, to be old-fashioned, since not everything is on the internet, but to go to a bookstore and look for the self-improvement aisle, a lot of it is nutrition. Mm-hmm. A lot of it is, I am surprised and happy to find there's more meditation.
Yes.
Mindfulness.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, and relationships. There's a lot more like Louise Hay and Wayne Dyer kind of books there. They even put Devalution, my book, in that category, which kind of surprised me, but I was glad. But anyway, so it's everything. It's everything. And one of the reasons that I invited you, Beth, is because you are the physical part. And how many times do people make New Year's resolutions and they're all gung-ho, and how soon into the year do they stop coming?
Average is about 6 weeks that people will then fall off and go to a gym about 4 times a month, or even less than that, after their New Year's resolution is kind of faltered. But I will say, in January anymore, since I've owned the brick and mortar part of the building, I've done the personal training, I've done the boot camps out in high schools, but since I've owned the building, January, the first couple of years, was the big month. It's been September.
Well, they must know it's self-improvement month.
Or it's the oh my God, what have I done to myself all summer? I need to get back to business. The partying is done, the camping, the cottages, the boat docks, the picnics, the barbecues, the open houses, the weddings, those are all done. I need to get a hold of the nonsense and the mayhem that's going on a lot.
That's funny, because mine are just starting.
Well, I'm actually surprised too that you said that 6 weeks was the average. I would have thought it was shorter.
And the last thing I read was about 6 weeks, but when I worked at a local gym and I went to a big personal small gym seminar a number of years ago, they felt it was shorter. And that's when they said the average gym attendance for any gym member, that perpetual I pay the EFT thing, is about 4 times every month. And every gym owner counts on that, because there's very little wear and tear, and they're collecting your money. And by the time you discover, why am I paying for this? Like that commercial, you should get a refund on things you don't use, like your
that is funny,
like your gym membership.
Right.
They're making money for nothing. It's just in the bank, in the bank. So
yours is a little bit different because it's classes.
And because people are keeping track of you. If you're missing an action, you're always contacted. You're always in the loop.
And when I worked in health clubs, that's how it was.
Well, that's the benefit of
called people.
Of joining a smaller local gym, too, right?
It's personal.
Right.
Absolutely. Community.
It's more intimate. It is, you are an important part of what's going on.
And that probably helps people stay longer than the 6 weeks.
Right, because you get a call if you don't. That's right. Yeah. That's right. That's a good point.
Because also, when you talk about, that's just the physical part of it. But when you're talking about all facets of life, being part of something I'd like to hope and think of, even like here, it's more than just the physical part. We have a couple of women that have paid, and I was thinking of them today as I was driving home. I have a couple of them that pay their monthly fee and have not been to a class but once a month. It's an expensive class.
But they know that they can come anytime. In the back of their heads, they know that.
But they're also, when they're having a rough day, they contact people from here. When they're having stress or they need something. Or they will even come and just kind of hang out for a minute and say, I know I need to get... Everybody has that.
Right.
When you're a life coach or when you're a personal trainer, when you're mindfulness...
I'm going to come back.
The first time somebody sees you, a nutrition coach, the first time somebody sees you, no matter what your modality is, somebody will say, oh, I really need to get back at that. It's like, that doesn't need to be the first thing you say to me. Hi,
but it is. But it always is.
Yeah. But it is. It's like, oh, I'm going to get back in there pretty soon. I really need to be better at this. Yes, you do. I used to go to sport banquets for my kids, and one of the ladies here, one of the longtime regulars, would come walk past me to see what was on my plate. And there was absolutely no healthy food at these sport banquets.
No.
It was like a heart attack on a plate.
Mashed potatoes,
corn,
yep.
fried chicken.
Right.
That is their idea of a good, sport banquet dinner. And she would
it had all the food groups.
Spy on my plate. It's like, go away.
Isn't that funny? And that's another thing changing your eating habits, I know people always consider. But Libby and I were talking earlier about how people always start from the outside instead of the inside.
And really, the outside to be successful should come from the inside.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, as somebody too, when I started my journey, I ran a marathon. I had done a Spartan race. I was doing kettlebell workouts, and I had this physical aspect, but I was still all crazy up in my head. So while I
crazy up in my head, that could be a song. It could be a country song.
It was literally crazy up in this head. I would have loved to see it on tape or something, but I literally thought I was doing everything right, and I would go to workout classes to release the stress, but the stress really wasn't releasing. I was missing an aspect of my self-care, which for me was that mind piece and focusing on the mind-body. And if we looked at ourselves holistically, that might help us lengthen the time that we're going to the gym for our New Year's resolutions to maybe another 6 weeks, because it's all a mental game.
Right.
When you're running a marathon, you train up until 20 miles. The last 6 miles, they all say, are all mental. Telling your mind and your body, can I actually do this? It's all part of kind of how we look at ourselves and what we think of ourselves and how we just, keep ourselves motivated. There's that emotional tie to that.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely right. And we have to step back and look at the whole picture. And one of the things about losing weight, especially as you get older, it's not as easy as when you were young, that you could just cut back on calories and maybe walk around for 15 minutes a day. It's not as easy as that. But if you don't have the proper mindset, that weight is not going to come off, and it really doesn't matter what you're doing. And you and I talked about this too. There was a meditation on, I think it was on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken, and it might have been Deepak and Oprah doing this free event, and it was about shedding the weight. It was called.
Yes. Yeah.
It was an event, wasn't it? A free event.
Yeah, they did. Well, they did the 21-day meditation.
That's the one.
Yes, correct.
Yes. So I just lucked out upon that. I had already been going to the gym, but I wasn't losing weight. I was watching when I ate. And when I did that meditation, and they make you look at other facets in